We're in the process of kind of coming up with a way to jazz up Fast and Loud, but you can kind of give it a shot of B12 or something. You know, we're gonna give it a shot.
For 8 years, Fast and Loud dominated the cable screen with millions of devoted viewers, only for its empire to seemingly collapse overnight.
Everybody hold on to your hat out there. Fast and Loud is no more.
There was no warning from the network, no official cancellation announcement, and one of Discovery's most successful shows suddenly disappeared completely. Was it a bold escape or a bitter behind-the-scenes reversal?
I have exited Discovery, and I'm a free agent. What?
The shocking explanation from someone at the center of it all will leave you stunned. What dark truth had been hidden for years? Find out now.
It was time for me to expand and grow a little bit, and I'd kind of gotten to the top of that mountain, being Discovery, and there wasn't anything else for me to do there. So.
Before appearing on television, Gas Monkey Garage was a custom car shop in Dallas, Texas, run by Richard Rawlings. Rawlings had spent years in the automotive industry and had built a professional relationship with Aaron Kaufman, a self-taught mechanic known for restoration and fabrication. What made their business model distinctive was that they did not simply repair cars for personal use.
Some people see something like this in a field and they think it's a piece of garbage. But the guys like us, this thing is gold.
Rawlings searched for classic vehicles abandoned in warehouses, fields, farms, or found at auctions. After buying them at suitable prices, the Gas Monkey Garage team restored and redesigned them before selling them for profit. This became the foundation for Fast and Loud. Rather than simply showing car repairs, the program combined 3 elements: finding a vehicle, negotiating its price, and completing the restoration under a strict deadline. The goal was to sell each car for more than the total investment.
And there's this cat in Texas, everything he sees is gold.
We're a working man shop. Got to make cars that, number one, you can drive.
Discovery Channel put the project into production with Pilgrim Studios, along with executive producers Craig Piligian and Eddie Rowetter. The format centered on Rawlings and Kaufman, with Rawlings handling vehicle searches and negotiations, while Kaufman oversaw most of the restoration work at the shop.
Fast and Loud's coming on tonight. It's my favorite episode, 70 Lincoln, slammed down 22. It's gonna be kick-ass. Watch it.
On June 6, 2012, Fast and Loud officially premiered on Discovery Channel. The first episode, Model A Madness, focused on a 1931 Ford Model A and other vehicles purchased and quickly repaired to offset restoration costs. From the opening episode, the program established its trademark formula: a vehicle with potential value, a controlled budget, and limited time for completion. Each project depended not only on the mechanic's skills, but also on Rawlings's ability to calculate costs and potential profits. The first season consisted of 14 episodes showcasing Gas Monkey Garage and the team's vehicle deals. Based in Dallas, the shop also became the starting point for searches beyond Texas, with vehicles brought back for restoration and completion. Aaron Kaufman quickly became a central figure alongside Rawlings. His fabrication, restoration, and design skills contrasted with Rawlings's business role. One focused on the vehicle itself, while the other concentrated on purchase prices, costs, and potential profit. This division created 2 parallel storylines. Rawlings searched for vehicles and calculated resale strategies, while Kaufman and the mechanics transformed old cars into finished products. Every project had to balance quality, cost, and profitability. The first season also featured other Gas Monkey Garage employees and industry partners. Sue Martin of ASM Auto Upholstery worked with the shop on various projects, while Casey Mathieu handled paintwork and had a long-time connection with Kaufman. The format extended beyond the workshop. Rawlings and Kaufman traveled to different locations to find suitable vehicles, allowing the series to show not only restoration, but also how cars were discovered, evaluated, negotiated, and purchased. Time pressure remained central. Once a vehicle was acquired, the team had to bring it back to the shop, determine the work-required control expenses, and complete the restoration before selling or presenting it at auction. This gave each episode a clear progression from the initial deal to the final result. The formula proved successful enough for Fast and Loud to quickly continue with new seasons. Season 2 began in February 2013, followed by Season 3 in June. Production increased while the Gas Monkey brand appeared more frequently on television. From a small car shop in Dallas, Fast and Loud quickly attracted attention on Discovery. The success of its early seasons was only the beginning of a much larger brand. The height of Fast and Loud. Viewership grew sharply as Fast and Loud became one of Discovery's standout programs for automotive audiences. Many episodes attracted around 2 to 2.7 million viewers, while the series regularly ranked highly among cable programs targeting men ages 18 to 49 and 25 to 54. The series' influence was also evident on social media. In 2016, the New York Times included Fast and Loud among the television programs most popular with men based on Facebook likes. This showed that the series had moved beyond being simply a program about car repairs. Its commercial appeal grew alongside its audience. Gas Monkey expanded through merchandise, restaurants, events, and automotive-related businesses. Richard Rawlings became the clearest face of the brand, handling vehicle searches, negotiations, cost control, and business decisions, while Aaron Kaufman remained central to fabrication and restoration. The partnership between Rawlings and Kaufman created the program's defining dynamic, one focused on business and negotiations, while the other concentrated on technical work and fabrication. Their contrasting roles gave the series a clear structure and helped distinguish it from other automotive programs. In 2013, Gas Monkey Bar and Grill opened in Dallas, combining dining music and the brand identity built through television. In 2014, Gas Monkey Live expanded the company's entertainment operations. Merchandise also grew, bringing the Gas Monkey name to an increasingly large fan base. Compared with programs such as Wheeler Dealers and Chasing Classic Cars, Fast and Loud offered a broader formula. It combined restoration, negotiation, profit shop operations, and the Gas Monkey brand, rather than focusing primarily on the technical process or classic car market. The projects also became more diverse. The team searched for classic cars, muscle cars, and vehicles with distinctive value. Each build continued to revolve around 3 central factors: budget, completion time, and the vehicle's potential value after restoration. The success of the series also created opportunities for related programming. Misfit Garage became one of the notable spin-offs focusing on mechanics with connections to Gas Monkey Garage. Discovery's expansion demonstrated that Fast and Loud had grown into a brand capable of supporting related content. As the number of seasons increased, the Gas Monkey team expanded to handle the larger workload. The Garage went from a shop known within the automotive community to a location directly associated with a major television brand. Richard Rawlings also became increasingly recognizable among automotive enthusiasts. By the middle of the 2010s, Fast and Loud had become one of Discovery's prominent car restoration programs. Its success came from more than completed vehicles. The series combined workshop projects with buying, negotiating, selling, and business operations. The scale of the brand was now far greater than when the series launched. Gas Monkey had its own business operations, the program maintained strong viewership, and Rawlings had become a familiar television personality. Fast and Loud was no longer simply a car show, but the center of a growing automotive brand. For Rawlings, that growth also meant greater demands. Business media and television production became increasingly interconnected, creating new opportunities while adding to the workload behind every episode. As production schedules tightened and restoration projects became more complex, the team had to meet increasingly demanding expectations. Each season needed to preserve what audiences already enjoyed, while introducing projects fresh enough to maintain interest. The pressure therefore extended beyond restoring individual vehicles. Gas Monkey had to balance quality budgets, deadlines, and television requirements. The greater the success, the higher the expectations became. But as Fast and Loud reached its peak, the pressures behind the shop also began to change the program. The cracks within. Behind Fast and Loud was a production process involving a massive workload. Each project had to be sourced, purchased, dismantled, repaired, painted, assembled, and completed within a limited time frame. The team also had to meet filming schedules and the demands of the program. The pressure sometimes pushed team members to work as many as 110 hours a week. Aaron Kaufman was a key member of the team responsible for many fabrication and restoration tasks. As the scale of the program grew, the differences between Kaufman and Richard Rawlings in their approaches to work also became increasingly clear. By the end of 2016, Aaron Kaufman had left Gas Monkey Garage and was no longer a regular presence on Fast and Loud. His departure marked a major change for the program, as Kaufman had been there since the early episodes and was one of the two central figures who shaped the series' original identity. Kaufman later explained that his decision to leave was connected to differences in their direction for the future. He wanted to focus on more complex fabrication projects, while the television format of Fast and Loud required a fast pace and frequently demanded that vehicles be brought back to market within a short period. After Kaufman's departure, the program continued with a new team. Richard Rawlings remained at the center while Gas Monkey Garage added other mechanics and staff to maintain operations. The series did not stop immediately and continued to be produced by Discovery for several more seasons. The personnel changes did not stop with Kaufman. Tom Smith, a familiar face from the early seasons, also left the program. Jordan Butler later stopped appearing regularly. Each change made the on-screen team different from the familiar lineup established during the early seasons. Sue Martin also gradually appeared less frequently in later seasons. As the owner of ASM Auto Upholstery, Martin had worked on numerous Gas Monkey Garage projects, particularly on interior-related work. The absence of familiar figures significantly changed the lineup that viewers had come to recognize. Meanwhile, Fast and Loud still had to maintain its production pace. New projects were continuously brought into the shop, and completion deadlines remained an important part of the format. This meant the pressure on the remaining team members did not decrease even as the program gained more experience and resources. Another factor was the relationship between real-world work and television requirements. A car might need a considerable amount of time to be restored in real life, while the program had to organize the process into episodes with defined runtimes and schedules. This difference created additional pressure for the team at Gas Monkey Garage. The personnel changes also affected how viewers perceived the program. Kaufman had created a clear counterbalance to Rawlings, from his technical approach to his views on the vehicles. After his departure, Rawlings became the more prominent figure, and the dynamic within the shop also changed. Fast and Loud continued to air and maintained a significant audience. Discovery did not immediately change the core formula. Rawlings continued to find vehicles, the team continued to restore them, and new deals remained part of the content. The program continued operating even as the people who had shaped its original identity changed. The changes within the team were not the end of the story. Eventually, Richard Rawlings made a decision that would completely change the future of Fast and Loud. The reason it ended on June 8, 2020, after 16 seasons, Fast and Loud reached its final episode. The program did not end with a major cancellation announcement from Discovery. The series' conclusion became clearer after Richard Rawlings publicly announced his decision to leave the television network that had been part of his career for nearly a decade. At the time, Fast and Loud remained a familiar Discovery brand and did not show the straightforward signs of a program losing its audience. The decision not to continue the series therefore raised questions about what had actually happened. Rawlings' later explanation focused on the production model itself and the restrictions that came with the program. In December, Rawlings appeared on the Joe Rogan Experience episode 1578. During the conversation, he confirmed that Fast and Loud had ended and said that he had left Discovery. Rawlings described himself at that point as a free agent, meaning he was no longer bound to the television network as he had been before. One of the issues Rawlings discussed was feeling limited by the familiar format. After years of production, the Fast and Loud formula still revolved around finding cars, buying them, restoring them quickly, and selling them. For Rawlings, continuing to repeat that structure no longer fit what he wanted to do next. This was also connected to control over content. Working with a major television network meant the program had to follow numerous conditions concerning production image and media activities. Rawlings felt these restrictions made it difficult for him to independently decide how to build content and develop the brand in his own direction. During his conversation with Joe Rogan, Rawlings also mentioned financial terms in his contract. One detail that drew attention was a $25,000 penalty related to violating certain agreed-upon conditions. The figure illustrated the level of restrictions he had to consider if he wanted to operate outside the boundaries of the contract. The issue was not limited to a single contractual clause. After spending many years tied to the same program, Rawlings wanted greater control over his new projects. His business activities, the Gas Monkey brand, and content outside television were becoming increasingly important parts of his plans. Leaving Discovery, therefore, gave Rawlings the opportunity to experiment with different formats. Instead of continuing to depend on the production schedule of Fast and Loud, he could choose projects, platforms, and approaches that fit his own direction. This was one of the main reasons he gave when explaining his decision. What stood out was that Rawlings did not describe the end of Fast and Loud simply as the result of a show being canceled. His comments indicated that the decision was connected to his desire to take control of his career after spending many years tied to a fixed format. The final episode aired in June, closing out the series' 16th season. After that, Discovery did not produce a new season. This meant that a program with a long television run and a large audience had officially come to an end after nearly 8 years since its debut. Aaron Kaufman had left the program earlier, but the series continued for several more seasons. His departure, therefore, was not the direct reason Fast and Loud ended. The decisive factor was Rawlings' choice not to continue maintaining his relationship with Discovery under the existing conditions. After leaving Discovery, Rawlings turned his attention to other Gas Monkey activities. The brand that had been built alongside the program continued to exist, while Fast and Loud became part of Gas Monkey Garage's television history. But the end of Fast and Loud did not mean the end of Gas Monkey's story. Behind the screen. After Fast and Loud ended, Discovery did not produce a new season. The series became a notable part of the network's history, while Gas Monkey Garage shifted its focus toward other activities. Older episodes continued to attract viewers, but the program was no longer the center of the brand. Richard Rawlings did not return with a new season. Instead, he continued developing Gas Monkey through business digital content, automotive projects, and fan events. This direction gave him greater control over content after leaving Discovery. By July 2026, the Gas Monkey Garage YouTube channel had around 1.76 million subscribers. Its content focused on classic cars fabrication projects, vehicle buying and selling, and Richard Rawlings activities. Digital platforms also allowed Gas Monkey greater freedom over content timing and format. New videos continued using the elements that had made Fast and Loud popular: distinctive cars, restoration projects, buying and selling deals, and Rawlings appearances. The difference was that the content no longer had to follow the fixed structure of a television series. Gas Monkey also continued expanding its brand through merchandise, fan programs, and live events. Locations such as Gas Monkey Ice House helped maintain the brand's presence beyond television. In 2026, Gas Monkey Sturgis remained another important part of its activities, connecting the brand with the motorcycle community in South Dakota. Richard Rawlings continued appearing in digital content involving automotive projects, trips, and business activities. This allowed him to remain closely connected to the automotive world without returning to a regular television series. Aaron Kaufman followed a different path after leaving Gas Monkey Garage. He continued developing arc light fabrication, focusing on fabrication and parts for classic Ford F-100 trucks. Rather than maintaining a regular television presence, Kaufman concentrated on technical work and product development. Sue Martin also continued working with ASM Auto Upholstery, a business specializing in automotive interior restoration, repair, and design. Her work remained connected to the same field she had pursued before and during her time on Fast and Loud. After 16 seasons, Fast and Loud officially came to an end. But the brand it helped build continued in other forms. Gas Monkey moved further into digital content and events. Richard Rawlings developed independent projects, while Kaufman and Martin continued their respective careers. The end of Fast and Loud did not mean the disappearance of the people behind it. They simply moved in different directions with greater control over their work outside the television framework. If you want to discover more stories behind the shows and famous figures that television never fully revealed, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and join us in the next videos.